What's up, guys? The Legion Sportsfest just concluded in Reno, Nevada. Tonio Burton is the winner. No surprise there. What was a surprise, especially the past couple outings, Patrick Moore did not look very good. Arnold Classic, he was either last or next to last. This was a different Patrick Moore. This was the Patrick Moore that was winning shows a few years ago, that won the Cali Pro, that was top 10 in the Olympia. He's on his way back. So just like I said, don't write people off. Don't say people should quit unless there's something gravely wrong. Take a look at some of the footage. Oh, I don't want to copy that. I want to go. Yeah, so the rest of the top five, not too many surprises. Bruno Santos, third. Florian Poirson, fourth. Kennedy Anyanwu looked fantastic. Was not in the first call-out, but they took a good look at him, and he worked his way up there, and he rightfully was fifth place. I could have had him maybe a little higher than that, honestly. So this was the pose down. So this is from the video Legion Sportsfest 2025 Comentarios en Portugués by Arita Labs. This is not the live stream. So the quality not fantastic with the video, obviously, but if you go to Gilco Productions IG page, they do have just a few pictures. I imagine he's going to put some more pictures up tomorrow. The high-res images really show the condition of these guys much more clearly than what we're seeing in this video. But props to Patrick. Congrats to Tonio, the winner. But Patrick really surprised us at this show. I didn't see it coming. I didn't think he was going to be in the running for the win, but he was definitely pushing Tonio. I think I would have had Bruno Signas at Patrick's back. Well, we're going to take a look at them. We're going to take a look at the last comparison was for second place, and it was a direct comparison between Patrick and Bruno, because it was pretty clear in the judges' minds, I'm guessing, that Tonio was the winner. But Patrick looked fantastic. He's certainly not done or washed up, or he doesn't need to quit, put it that way. He's on his way back, and I hope this is just the beginning of him getting better and better and becoming one of the top men, as I was hoping he would be when he turned pro all those years, 8 years ago at the USA with Lunsford, 2017 USA. So go right to the awards. Yeah, Tonio's back was just lights out. Look at that. Fantastic. Congrats to him. So this was the final placings. All right, so this is just the award ceremony. Kennedy's already got his fifth place. Florian Poirson from France getting his fourth place medallion there. Sometimes they give him the check on stage, sometimes not. I heard, what show was it last year? They got a bag of cash. Was the Toronto Pro last year? I think when they won, they got a bag of cash backstage instead of a check, which is pretty damn cool. Who doesn't like cash? So there you see Bruno Santos getting his third place, going around and congratulating everybody, shaking hands. Bruno looked very good. When we see the comparison with Patrick momentarily, you'll understand how Patrick was able to beat him, and it was mainly a structural thing, bone structure. He's just so much wider. He's got so much more of an X frame compared to Bruno, who's a little more on the narrow side, which is just genetics. It's just his bone structure. Nothing he can do about it. He's built a great physique on top of that bone structure. But structure matters. Everything matters. They're looking for the best total packages. The best total package is what wins. So there's Patrick, runner-up. Congratulations. To me, this is almost like a win, because everyone's going to be talking. I guarantee you, it's probably already happening on social media, but everyone's going to be talking more about Patrick. The two things I've already been seeing are Patrick looking so good, which we didn't expect, and Blessing being a disappointment. Blessing Awodibu I had him in all my thumbnails and everything as somebody who was potentially going to win this show, because he has won shows before. He won the Indy Pro, he won the New York Pro. I think he had one other pro win. Regardless, he's won shows before, and at his best, he probably could have been pushing for this win too, but was not at his best. We'll take a look at that. I don't like to just talk crap. So congratulations, Tonio. There's Chris Minnis, the promoter, and on one side, Kai Green, of course, on the other side. See that backdrop? That's all comic book art. The Legion show always has a real cool comic book theme to it. If you walked around the expo, you see a lot of these images and stuff. And, yeah, Tonio, look at those shoulders. And I don't think they're fake, guys. I don't think his shoulders are fake. But they're so round, so bubbly. some of the best shoulders in bodybuilding today, bar none. And he's like 220, 222 pounds. You know, there's guys that have 50, 60 pounds on them don't have shoulders like that. So he looked amazing, amazing. To this, I'll go back to the confirmation round. We'll let Tonio hit a couple victory poses, though. Yeah, look at that. He's just stacked. I know people think he's got oil in his quads. I don't see it. I don't see it. I just think they don't have the greatest separation, and that's something he can improve on. Everyone up there on stage had strong points and things they can improve on. Look at that nice trophy. The superhero with the cape flying in the wind. I bet that weighs a ton. Don't break it, dude. Don't break it. But it's nice touch when they make these custom trophies that are very, very different from what you'd normally see. I'll just leave some of the routines on. That's Tim Wilkins. First routine was Kennedy. Fantastic rookie season so far for Kennedy. 6th place New York Pro. 5th place here. I definitely could have had him ahead of Florian. No offense to Florian. I just like Kennedy's structure better. The shape, the overall shape. This guy's going places. All he really needs to do, condition could be a little bit better, and the lower lats, when you turn around and see his back, you'll see that could be a little better. When he gets those things in place, when he makes those improvements, he'll be winning shows. He'll be winning shows. Full and detailed. Lack of calves ruins Patrick. Well, calves are nice if you have them. I think that's the attitude. I've never seen a show come down to just calves where two guys were totally equal, but one had better calves. I've never really seen it make a difference. And most of the guys with the best calves, the late Mike Matarazzo had the best calves of all time, I think. They were legit, like 22, 23 inches, diamond shaped. He never won a pro show. Eric Fankhauser, awesome calves, never won a pro show. Ben Pekulski, did Ben ever win a pro show? I don't think he did. What did he win for this show? I believe it was $25,000. I could be wrong. I didn't really pay attention. Yeah, Kennedy should do, well, see, that's it for, he just hit New York. There's nothing, the next show we have, yeah, he should do Toronto next week for sure. He's going to have to go up against Regan, but, you know, who's to say? I like this guy's physique a lot. He's got things Regan doesn't have. He's got way better quads than Regan. Regan's a little wider up top. Kennedy's got better arms. Regan's got a better back, but he would compare well with him. I'm not saying he would win necessarily, but he'd be in that top 3, top 5 at the very worst in Toronto. And that's a week from tomorrow. That's a Sunday show. Nothing after that until Dubai Pro, June 21st, which is a big money show. Got Martin Fitzwater doing that, Baruz Tabani. I can't remember who else was doing it. Boss finally missed. Yeah, you know, Boss is a great coach, but there's not one coach out there who hasn't screwed up. Or I don't know if we can blame the coach in this case. Here's Blessing right now. So Blessing, yeah, this is not the best Blessing I've ever seen. This is not the Blessing I saw win the New York Pro. Just looked a little watery. He didn't get lean enough. I just don't think he got lean enough. And I don't think Stefan is to blame. I don't know if Blessing, I don't know what the reason is, but he was not at his best. The waist, the midsection has gotten thicker. I see the obliques in particular have grown. I don't know why that happened. Has he maybe started doing like deadlifts or something? I don't know. But I just know what I see. I know we'll look at some of the images, the Gilco images, once I get through all the video, because that tells a really good story. This is obviously the camera's set a little ways back from the stage. It's showing the whole stage, whereas the Gilco stuff is nice up close and sharp. But yeah, I don't know who's to blame for Blessing. Still has some things going for him. Beautiful structure, great back, really good arms, small waist, you know, relative to how wide he is up top. Midsection does need to watch it. It is starting to get a little bit thicker. The legs need to be better. The condition needs to be better. But I hope he keeps going. I hope he does Toronto. I hope he keeps going in diets. I think he would need up until, 3 weeks from now, the Dubai. I think that would be perfect. He looks like 3 weeks out to me. Yeah, so RG, every show qualifies for if you win any pro show, you're qualified for the Olympia, any of them. Cody Mercado. There's another guy named Cody Jolly. So what do you think of Blessing's chest? Let's take a look. I wasn't really paying too much attention to his chest. Is there a hole in it or something? Is there a tear? I'll have to take a look. Yeah, not like all the hate blessing is good. Oh, I mean, he's still got. He doesn't need to retire. He doesn't need to hang it up. I don't know what you're talking about with his chest. Chest looks pretty good to me there. Maybe if we go closer up, I could see if there's something wrong that you might be referencing, but it looks good to me. Yeah, it's sad because I hate to see anybody getting shit on, and people are shitting all over Blessing. And I don't remember him, in the past he's been very vocal and outspoken and kind of like that WWE type of I'm gonna blow this guy out of the water. Like the rivalry with him and Nick Walker back in, was it 2020 or 2021? I think it was 2021. It was like the most exciting thing of that spring because we were in lockdown and not much COVID was still going on. There wasn't a whole lot to be distracted by, and that helped us. That helped distract us. No, that was the backstage crew. It's definitely bringing many watery guys lately. Maybe he has too many athletes. It's a very real possibility. You can only focus on so many people at once, and Boss has been. It's like every time I turn to social media and start scrolling through, I see somebody else. Oh, here's Tonio right here. I want to be quiet. I want to watch Tonio. This is kind of far back, but I just think he had the best overall package. Size, shape, structure. He's only 222, but he's got very small joints, very full muscle bellies. It gives the illusion of a lot more actual size. Someone else could have different, thicker joints, different, not as pleasing shape to the muscles with that round look, and they could be 20 pounds heavier and look smaller than him. It's all an illusion. I mean, you say watery, how to fix it. So Darren, if it's water, he's talking about Boss Outlaws guys, some of them aren't coming in shape. If it's water, that's something that a diuretic could remedy because they would just piss out all the water. But if it's body fat, if you're like a day, 2-3 days out, even if you're a week out from the show and you still have body fat to lose, it's too late. You need to be in shape a week out, at least 3 or 4 days out. You need to be ready. After that, it's just sort of resting, carving up. You can't be trying to lose fat at the last minute. So these guys aren't losing enough fat. Okay, so that was Tonio. Now we have Oluwatobi Isola, along with Kennedy. He is another IFBB North American overall champ. I don't know if he's from Nigeria or of Nigerian ancestry, but the Nigerians are kicking ass. Blessing is Nigerian. He's not doing well now, but there's hope for the future. Andrew Jack, obviously, was the original. Not the original. The original was Victor Richards. That was the original Nigerian freak back in the 80s. What's up, Kalia? You started my previous comment. Oh, sorry, man. Let me go back. No, I said that. You said sloppy. Thanks for the donation. And yeah, he's hit. They're hit and miss. Some of them look really good. Some of them don't. Does he have too many clients? I guess he could be the only one to make that determination. Maybe some coaches can handle 100 clients and no problem and be able to stay in touch with everybody and keep everyone, on track and giving them the necessary adjustments every day they need to make to their diet, cardio, PEDs, stuff like that. But I'm not great at multitasking. I'm a coach, but I even, as much as I would love the money from coaching 100 people, I know in my heart of hearts, I couldn't really give proper attention to 100 people. So Oluwatobi looks really good too. Very small joints, nice full round muscle. Look at those quads, very impressive. Yeah, I think he just kind of got overshadowed by Kennedy because Kennedy, a lot of people were making posts, a lot of media channels. Well, these are the two North American champs who want to see them side by side. Already said that. Dieting more, yeah. Water buffaloes. I don't think it's water. So this is Adam Millage. He is a chef. I do know that. Don't worry. Where's Giles? No. Yeah, Arnold. It is. So if it's almost 11 o'clock at night for me, it's 4 a.m. for Giles. So unless it's like the Olympia or the Arnold, I would never, ever ask him to stay up or stay up that late or get up that early. Oh, diuretic is it's just a drug, a pharmaceutical drug that people use to flush out water. They're weaker over-the-counter versions, and then there's the more powerful pharmaceutical versions, which they give, in the medical world, it's used for things like edema, when people have conditions where they're holding too much water, which can cause high blood pressure. So it keeps them from retaining a lot of fluid, a lot of water in their body, keeps their blood pressure down. But bodybuilders use it to flush out the water at the end. The unfortunate thing about diuretics is they are not selective. You excrete or expel water from all parts and all cells of the body, muscle cells. The water under water under your skin goes, but the water inside your muscle cells also goes. So you're going to flatten out on diuretics. Crazy Sergio didn't do this show. Yeah, or the Cal. I think he was just determined. Him and his coach, they made a decision to hold off until later in the season. There's some things they want to work on. I'm not sure what they are. Tonio was going to bust these dudes' ass. Yeah, I mean, when I saw the lineup, I know how good Tonio is, and I know what everyone else looks like, and I can sort of in my mind already judge. In the previews, I had him winning. Everyone had him winning. Some people thought Victor Bruno was going to get. I thought Blessing might be the one to push him and possibly beat him. The Blessing that I saw a few years ago would have had a good chance of beating him today. This was not that Blessing. Diuretics doesn't fix extra fat. Yeah. I always see guys that aren't in shape, a week or two off from the show. They go, I'm just holding water. I'm like, dude, that's not water. It's not water. And then they drop the diuretic and they get rid of all the water and they're flat and you still see the body fat, but now the muscles are smaller because they're not full of glycogen and water like they should be. And it's just a bad overall look. Okay, here we go with Patrick Moore. Patrick was a surprise of the show. This was a redemption for Patrick. Patrick hasn't looked this good in a very long time. A lot of people have written him off. I made a point of saying several times I wasn't writing him off. I don't write people off, unless they come down with like stage 4 cancer or something and they have to leave, health reasons. If it's an injury, and he did tear his Achilles tendon a couple of years back, which hampered his leg training, but he's got his legs back. I'd like to see more legs, but you know what? Everyone's got something you can pick on. He's got some really good body parts. He's got a great structure and shape. And this was the best condition I've seen Patrick, I want to say, in 3-4 years. Yeah, no problem, Darren. That's what I'm here for. I think Antonio can beat Keon to 212 weight. No, and I don't think you're talking about Tonio, not Antonio. I don't think Tonio has any interest in trying to drop down to 212. But no, I don't think he could beat Keon. Keon is damn good. I think Keon will be Mr. Olympia within, I'm going to say 2 years. It's not going to be this year. He's going to stay 212 this year. That's where we start to wonder, will it be 2026? Keon makes the move to open, 2027. I don't see it happening any later than 2027. He's growing. He was only 205 at this last Olympia, though, so he still has a lot of room to grow. Don't want to take away from Patrick Moore on screen right now. Patrick looked phenomenal. Look at that X-frame. Look at the tiny waist, the super wide shoulders, nice capped, round side delts. So Blessing, we know that he didn't make top 5. Do I still have it up? There's the top 5 results. Felix Norman on stage now. Yeah, so when they put the scores up, and last week at the Cali Pro, they didn't put the scores out until like 3:00 in the afternoon, my time, Eastern Standard Time, the next day. So I don't know if the results are out for this. If they are, I'd be pretty surprised because they took a long time last week to put the results up. So I think Blessing's probably 6th or 7th. I don't think he's bottom. He was in the first call out. He's still got some strong points to his physique. It wasn't the best Blessing, but he wasn't horrible. Why people want to go to the coach of 100 athletes? Oh, I mean, I was just throwing that number out there. I don't know how many people Stefan Kienzel, boss of Outlaw coaches. I do hear his name a lot. A lot of people are working with Stefan because he's good. He's very good at what he does. He's brought a few people in looking fantastic. Most of his guys end up looking great, but nobody bats 1,000. That's a baseball term from the USA for people who don't know baseball. I don't know much about it. But no coach bats 1,000. No coach brings every client in looking perfect every time. It's impossible. There are too many variables that go into what the physique is going to look like on stage, and things can change so rapidly. People can get flat really quick. We saw that with Regan at the Cali, not the Cali Pro, at the New York Pro. He went flat so fast up there. And I've seen that before. People can start holding water and spill over, as we call it, and they look all watery and lose their cuts. I've seen that happen. A coach, usually if they work with an athlete more than 2 or 3 times, they know how to peak them, more or less. But still, things happen. Something they ate didn't agree with them, and they had an allergic reaction, or there's all kinds of things that can happen. Jonathan Padilla from Mexico. I'm guessing he wasn't too far out of the top 5 either, based on the call-outs. I'm going to take a while. I bet he was probably around 7th, 8th at the worst. I don't know. I still would probably have Blessing ahead of him. I don't know. His condition didn't thrill me. Maybe once I see the high-res images, he'll impress me more. If it's fat or water, it's not a dumb question. I mean, looking at people, it's very hard to tell, but most guys shouldn't be holding water. I mean, the main reasons bodybuilders hold water are certain steroids that they use that cause water retention. Test will do that. D-ball, Anadrol, a lot of the orals like that. The androgens, the drugs that are the best for putting on DECA makes you do that. The drugs that are great off-season drugs for adding size and strength, typically not used in a contest prep. Usually they use what they call drier drugs like Tren, Masteron, Winstrol, Anavar tabs, things that don't cause any agents that don't cause any water retention. So there's really no reason for these guys to be holding a lot of water. And if you have all the body fat gone, I've never seen anyone who was super shredded and then all of a sudden held water. I've just never seen it. It's usually it's either an excuse, they think they're holding water, or they're just delusional. They think it's water and it's actually body fat. Who is a pretty lady at the bottom right? Okay, so that is Aretha Luz. This is her channel, Aretha Lab. I don't know if she has a supplement company. I know she's a journalist. She actually helped me out with a translation for a video interview I did for MD. Here's Florian Poirson from France. An interview we did for the MHP athlete, Oliveira. He's a UFC fighter from Brazil that MHP sponsored. I'm sorry, I don't follow UFC, so I didn't even know who the guy was. I did some research, and so I could ask the right questions, but I'm not an MMA fan. I can watch it, but Florian, really good structure and shape. Could be a little wider across the shoulders if I was going to give him like a perfect structure. He'd have a little wider clavicles. It's a very compact physique, but he's got a lot of muscle. The back is what I do see needs the most improvement. It's a great physique, guys. He wouldn't be in the top 5 without a great physique. He ended up in 4th. I believe he was 5th in Cali. Or was he 4th there too? No, he was 5th in Cali. He's got a lot of things going for him. The overall thickness with the shape, very, very tough to beat. I pointed out before, I don't know why he doesn't lock out his arm straight in that side try. I think that would look. What is up with Blessing's conditioning? Well, I don't know what happened. I don't know why he's not super shredded. I don't know. He's not a good bodybuilder. Well, Barry George is a benefit cheat. Barry George is a benefit cheat. You don't like Barry George. He is a good bodybuilder. I've seen him look a lot better. I was there when he won New York Pro. I was there when he won the Indy Pro. He was very, very good at those shows. This is not that Blessing. This is his first show back in almost 2 years. He competed, I want to say it was August of 2023, Flex Pro weekend in Italy. And he looked a little better than this. But I haven't seen him looking great in a couple of years. So here's Bruno Santos from Brazil. Pretty sure the reason she's covering, Aretha's covering, is for the Brazilian athletes, because it's in Portuguese. Brazil is a huge bodybuilding country, and they really support their athletes, and they're very, very passionate fans of the sport. So Kalyana is explaining diuretics. Which class of diuretics are used abundantly among bodybuilders? Thiazide. I would say the most common one is thiazide, which the one I've used, I've only used one type. It's called Diazide, and it is that type of thiazide. Loop is like Lasix. That's a stronger diuretic. You basically you base which one you take on how much water you think you need to lose. And Lasix is like the nuclear bomb. It'll just get rid of all your water. But we've had deaths in bodybuilding. It was typically diuretics, and I venture to say 9 times out of 10, the diuretic that was used by the people that unfortunately passed away was Lasix, because it's injectable and it's very, very strong, very potent. And your body, if you expel too much water, it throws your electrolytes out of balance and you have a heart attack. So you don't die of dehydration. I believe you die of a heart attack. What's up with Hunter? Is he competing this year? No, he's taking the year off, he said. Tonio beat Regan from Cal. I think so. I think he's more complete. They both have great backs. Regan usually kills people from the back. He's got better quads than Regan. Better biceps for sure than Regan. Regan's got a better structure. He is wider across the clavicles. He's a taller guy. He's got more of an X frame. I'd still think it would be a tough battle. I would give it to Tonio, but maybe it would be Regan. I'd have to see them side by side. Jason should have competed. Tonio beats Regan. Well, yeah, I'm curious to see who shows up for Toronto next weekend. Very curious. Jason could have beat Patrick. No. Jason's amazing. Okay. Patrick, yes. Okay, these are all troll comments. Palumbo coaches a lot. Yeah, I mean, Dave's been coaching for well over 20 years. Dave's been doing this quite a while. Are they already doing? Oh, they do the pose down first. No, I'm sorry. This is going to be the confirmation round. Typically, I'm curious because I've seen them do it both ways, where they start with the second call-out guys first, then do the first call-out guys as the second call-out. So it's sort of reverse order from what they do in the actual judging during the day. The judging starts with the first call-outs, typically your top 5, top 6 guys. Okay, so that's what they did this time. But I've seen it done the other way much more often, where the initial call out in the confirmation round is often with guys who are not in the top running. It's the second or third call out guys. So this was a big call out there. Geez, you got Bruno, Patrick, Tonio, Kennedy. I have to look at this guy's name all the time. Oluwatobi, Florian and Jonathan. That was a big group they called out there. Tonio, and they put Kennedy right next to him. Was Blessing even there? Is that Blessing? Yeah, they moved Blessing. Did I just confuse him with the other guy? I did, didn't I? My bad. That's how small they are on my screen. Who won top 3? Here's your results right there, Sean. Tonio first, Patrick Moore second, Bruno Santos third, Florian Poirson fourth, Kennedy Anyanwu fifth. So this was the confirmation round. Jason Genova, yeah, I know Jason. I've met him, I've trained him. Tonio Burton, Real Mascara, that's Nexzilla. He'll be competing in Dubai in 3 weeks. Pat second, Bruno third, yeah. Pink Trunks fourth. That's right. These are everyone's names. Florian Poirson is Pink Trunks. He's from France, so that's why you might not know him. Bubble Gut. Who's got the bubble gut? Then Blessing fourth. No, he didn't get. Blessing didn't make top 5. Keon is overrated. Mr. Olympia next few years. I don't see it. Well, Mr. Jinx, look at him now and try to imagine that with, let's say, 15 more pounds, but the same exact proportions, meaning his waist doesn't get any bigger. I mean, that's all you would have to worry about. Everything else gets bigger proportionally, but 15 pounds up from 215, from 205, which he won the last Olympia, Keon, as a 212, that would put him at 220, which is what Tonio is here, but he's shorter than Tonio. Keon's probably like 5'5", maybe 5'6". I want to say 5'5". Whatever he is, he's got just beautiful God-given shape. Some of the best genetics I've ever seen in all my years. 34 years in the industry now, covering the sport. So yeah, I do see it. And, we'll see. Genova, Olympia 25. I'm not showing all the Jason Genova. How did Moore get second place? We're gonna look at the call-outs with him and Victor Bruno. What I keep calling him Victor Bruno. Bruno Santos. Is there somebody named Victor Bruno? I don't even know. Obviously, I took some melatonin with my last meal like an hour ago. I think it's kicking in. I'm getting dopey. Melatonin. With all the success former 212 athletes, do you think 212 needs to go back to 202? No, you can't go back. There's too many guys who are already struggling to make 212, and if they had to get down to 202, I think they would leave. What would they do? Or they would try to downsize to classic? Here was a good call out. So this was Kennedy, Blessing, Florian, and Jonathan. So this was probably third. This is the call out for third through fifth. No, I'm sorry, fourth through seventh, because I think they already had it locked up in their minds. The judges already had Tonio in first at this point, and Bruno and Patrick second and third. I don't think they had quite figured out which way that was going to go, because there is going to be a call out. We'll see with just those two. But Kennedy here impressing me the most as far as potential. I mean, look at how wide. Look at that flat spread, so wide. He's a work in progress, and he doesn't need that much more work. He's almost there. This was just his rookie season, so you can imagine the best is yet to come with this guy, Kennedy. That's one to watch. I'd say Tonio winning, obviously big story. Patrick Moore redeeming himself and looking great and getting runner-up, also damn good, and people are going to be talking about that. And I think Kennedy is going to be a talking point. In fact, I'm going to try to get a hold of Kennedy for an interview, because I don't know much about him, but this guy's he's going places. You'll see him winning shows. Jason Genova. Who is Jason Genova? Yeah. So Jason Darren was I don't know if you'd call him autistic. I don't know what his diagnosis was, but he was somehow mentally impaired, because he was like on disability. But he was like putting out YouTube videos for a couple of years, maybe about 3 or 4 years. He had a crew of weird guys around him. They called him the Delray Misfits, Delray Beach, Florida. So his videos were like comical. He was a character. He wasn't trying to be funny. He just was. Yeah, I mean, just Google him or something. His videos are still all up, but he doesn't make videos anymore. He got forbidden. Like his mother actually forbade him. Said you can't, and he lives with his mom. Can't make any videos anymore, so he shut it all down. But Jason Genova, he competed. He would get really fat, bulking. I don't want to make this about Jason. We're talking about the Legion. Just Google him. You'll find all kinds of stuff. Or go to search on YouTube. You'll find all stuff. Tony has so much oil. No, I don't think so. Doesn't know how Jason Genova. Imagine that. Just throwing a personal question besides writing your line share the individual sports. I don't follow any sports. I don't. I'm not even American. I've been called un-American because I don't watch football, which is like the big pass. Everybody watches football, especially around here. I drove by Gillette Stadium twice today on the highway. It's only like 15 miles away, 10, 15 miles away, where the New England Patriots play. I never even went to one of their games once. The only time I watched them play was at Super Bowls, and I was watching more for the commercials. So this call out was everybody else, basically. That's Felix Norman. Felix is on the right, so I'm sorry. No, that's Felix on the left, right? In the middle is Oluwatobi Isola, and then we have Adam Millage. I hope I'm not mixing this up. There was a little joke earlier. I said all these bald white guys look alike. But these two guys do kind of look alike. Don't tell me they don't. If I did, I would have asked. Yeah, Darren, I mean, he's been off YouTube. He had his 15 minutes. He was pretty famous considering, he never won anything. He was an awful bodybuilder. He would compete fat. He would jump into shows, looking like 20% body fat. Most of the time. Underrated bodybuilder. People Google him. Yeah, just Google him. Open 212. He's a very amateur. He never even won a local show. TNP is the best. It's also very dangerous, Abdiel Torres. Very dangerous. Muy peligroso. Leave it alone. Quítate. It's a joke. Just want to be bodybuilder. He collects coins now. Yeah, his Instagram page is all about coins. And he messaged me on Instagram and he wanted my phone number because he lost it. And I don't want to go down that rabbit hole again. Smacked around with Rich Pion at one point. True. Rich did slap him. Okay, so this looks like a call out for 5th, 6th, 7th right here, because then Kennedy ended up getting 5th. No, I'm sorry. So Florian was 4th. So this is 4, 5. The call out for the 4th through 6th to determine that, because they already had Patrick Moore and Bruno Santos established as their 2nd and 3rd place guys. They didn't know the order yet. But then this is the call out here where they had to figure out who we went for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Florian came out ahead of Kennedy. I personally would have had Kennedy ahead of Florian. I just like his overall shape better. He does need more of a back. Florian has a better back than him, no doubt. So I imagine that was the deciding factor. The condition on the two guys here looks pretty comparable. I don't see either one of them. Blessing on the right is the worst condition out of these three, obviously. The high-res images show his legs were really blurry, and I didn't see any back shots. I'm guessing the glutes and everything had to be pretty soft. What's up, Heisenberg? So it looks insane, the HD footage. Yeah, is that on Gilco yet? Let me check while I'm here. If they have any high-res images on, I want to take a look at that. The Gilco stuff always looks so much better. Search. Gilco Productions. Searching for you guys. They have no video routines up from the bodybuilders. They do have some high-res images of Blessing, Tonio, Blessing by himself, Tonio by himself, and a couple of Tonio with Patrick. We'll look at that later. Let's get through. So this was the call out for second and third place. Tonio placed 7th at the 2020 Olympia. Oh yeah, so Tonio was 7th. That's even better. Yeah, he probably would beat him. So I was trying to figure out, looking at this, and why did Patrick beat Bruno here? Neither one of them have great legs, so it wasn't really the lower body. I'd say Patrick's are as good, maybe actually better. A little more meat to the quads, yeah. Patrick's actually got better legs than Bruno. And if you want to talk about structure, across the shoulders, Patrick is just so much wider. It's a bone structure. He's born with those bones. Both of these guys have put a lot of muscle on top of the frames that they were given, but Patrick just was given a wider frame to build on. And you can't overlook that. It's one of the factors. Good back. Victor's back's a little thicker. I like his back a little bit better. Not a troll. Well, when you keep talking about Jason Genova, I think you're a troll. I knew Tonio had it, but I still say Florian should in top 3. No, I mean, it's all opinion. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. I would have had Kennedy ahead of him. Yeah, maybe not ahead of Bruno. Kennedy's condition still needs to come up a little bit better, but he's on his way. Florian had way better legs than Patrick. They weren't way better. He'll be in Toronto next week. No, Darren, the list isn't out. The only ones I know off the top of my head, Mahmoud El-Dura, Regan Grimes is going to be the heavy favorite. I don't know. So the list will come out Monday, like late afternoon on ifbbpro.com. Then we'll find out. Here's the results. Who is Keon's coach? Isn't he with Boss too? Isn't he with Boss About Law? Yeah, he is, right? I'll confirm that. I don't like being inaccurate. Do not. So is that it? They went straight to awards? If that's the case, I'm going to go to the Gilco stuff for some high-res images. Yeah, but I believe it's Stefan Kienzel, Boss About Law. Oh, no, it's Patrick Tour. You're right. Told you I was getting loopy. Patrick Tour is his coach. Thank you, Fresh Prince. Appreciate it. This is why I like you guys in the chat, because some of you guys really follow certain athletes and certain coaches better than I do. I try to do a good job of following everybody, but clearly I don't do the best job. Blessing waist is wide. Run, you need ketamine. No, I don't want to be up all night. To watch overall between the Open 1 and 212 in the Olympia. Oh, hell yeah, friend. I would love to see that. Will it ever happen? Doubtful. What happened to Smoke King? Who was the Smoke King again? I don't know. Kenny's a great kid. Reduce my stock on him. Yeah, that stock's gonna earn some dividends. His stock is going to rise. Due to early fitness YouTubers. Yeah. Victor Bruno was a legendary comedian. Oh, is it? Maybe that's why. No, I don't know why. The name's not even familiar. I don't know that actor, but for some reason I keep calling Bruno Santos Victor Bruno. Tonio has so much oil in his body. You said that before. Does this Tonio beat Rafa? I don't know. Rafa beat him very, very narrowly last year at the Arnold Classic South America in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Very narrow win. And, Tonio could have had it. I could have seen Tonio for the win there. Do black men put muscle on the easiest? Only if they're from Nigeria. one particular country in Africa. Of the whole continent, only Nigerians seem to have this massive advantage where they can add muscle tissue like at will. Like think about training and they get bigger. No, honestly, it's there's some regions of the world where we seem to see more great bodybuilders coming from, but we have seen a lot of great people. I can't say African American because if you're African, you're not American. A lot of either ancestry, like Samson Dauda, our current Mr. Olympia, is Nigerian ancestry, raised in the UK, but he's of Nigerian heritage. Blessing, Andrew Jacked, Victor Richards back in the day, like I said. No, man. No, we're staying on topic. We're staying on Legion. Bodybuilders never seem to focus on their calves. No, I don't think that's the case, Barry. I think it's a lot of them just can't build calves. If you don't have low calf muscle insertions, it doesn't matter. You're never going to be able to. The muscle tissue is just not there. You don't have enough muscle cells to build to ever have really big calves. All these guys you see with the crazy massive calves like Matarazzo, Dorian Yates, Jay Cutler, Flex Lewis, look at how low their calves insert in the ankle. Cares about 212? Some people still do. Like Bruno Moore, that's okay. Where does Blessing go from here? I think he should just stay on his diet and do Dubai. He looks like he needs another 3 weeks. And Dubai would give him 3 weeks. Blessing should get a full-time job. Oh, boy. You guys are awful. Let's share this tab instead. So these are pictures from Gilco. So the pictures from Gilco, they're kind of like being there because they're just so crystal clear. That's when you could really appreciate the condition. Let's just go get a full-time job here. You guys are the worst. Just want to show you a couple of good shots. Look at that back. Look at the back. Look how thick that back is. That is crazy. There's a good shot of Patrick and Tonio side by side. Again, Patrick he made a transformation because he was looking, it must have been mostly water. There's no way he could have lost that much fat in 1 week. He tightened up significantly since the Cal Pro last weekend. Definitely, he looked nothing like this a week ago. So everyone's going to be talking about that. What a transformation. I can't even tell you the last time I recall seeing somebody get that much better in 1 week from one show to the next that quickly. So, and he's coached by himself, Patrick Moore. Let me point that out. Give him credit for that too. He's probably the only guy up there that did it without a coach in the open, I'm guessing. Tony or Martin? I think Martin right now is ahead of him. I think Martin would beat Tonio. I mean, Martin just got 4th at the Olympia. Tonio has had 7th at the Olympia before, but Martin was 4th place last year at the Olympia. He won the Prague Pro, beating a great Chris Bumstead. I think Martin is still a little slightly higher level above Tonio at this point. Lessing should be the tan guy, puts tans on people. Now you make me want to show his pictures. Go there. Yeah, so yeah, his waist looks like it's getting thicker. Those obliques, they're starting to bulge out to the side. This was not the best Blessing. Yeah, that's like a troll shot there from Gilco, really focusing on the midsection. But it's not good. He's just look blurry and watery, and look, he's sweating bullets up there. And with this logic, you stay of not being American, and the biggest American, huge NBA, NFL, and pro wrestling guys, so track history in sports too. Wow, that's a lot to keep up with. How could you even watch all those games? I mean, that's like 20, 30, 40 hours of games a week if you followed all those sports. I mean, wrestling alone, it's not really a sport. Sports entertainment. But yeah, I just never. Smoke King is Oluwatobi. Well, that's probably easier to pronounce, AJ, than Oluwatobi, because I'm Oluwatobi. Every time I say it, I pronounce it differently. Didn't know that about calves sanctuary. Yeah, Barry, you'll pay attention to like when in the hot weather when people walk around in shorts. You'll see a lot of older guys, like they're not all necessarily older, but you'll see like dad bod guys walking around with a belly and these massive diamond-shaped calves. And you can tell by how flabby the body is that they've never set foot in a gym in their life, or at least not for many, many years. And they have better calves, a lot of these guys, than most pro bodybuilders, guys in classic physique, men's physique. It's so much, and they got those calves just purely by walking around. They didn't do a single rep of calf raises in their lives, these guys. Old school wrestler. Do you know of any pros past that had arms dwarfing shoulder size? I don't know anyone that had arms that dwarfed their shoulders. That would be a really ugly look. I've seen some of the synthol guys in, mainly Brazil. That's where they seem to go nuts with the synthol, the site injections, site enhancement oil, I should say. But no, I can't think of one guy. I've seen some guys that had shoulders that dwarfed their arms. I mean, that was me when I was a bodybuilder. And I've seen a few other guys with that situation. Patrick needs more DECA. Whatever works. Martin is overrated. Okay. Does Tonio have a little extended gut? So the word you want there is distended, and I don't think so. I don't want to keep that shot of blessing up. That's mean. That's a little better shot, but still, he was not dialed in. He needs another 3 weeks. 3 weeks, I think, 3-4 weeks at the most. So if I were him, if the sponsor's going to pay for it, send me to Dubai. I don't know how well he would do, but he could look a lot better. He's capable of looking a lot better than this. I've seen him look a lot better than this. His body is not blessing. Blessing needs DNP. Tonio, stop the SEO on adults. Pin them on your calves. So he's suggesting you start pinning his calf. Top 5, Ding Twee. Here you go. I know I'm a little behind. I'm a couple minutes behind. Tonio, Patrick, Bruno, Florian Poirson, Kennedy. Bruno 3. Oh, yeah. I mean, I left it up there. That's your top 5. Would synthol Nell Blessing's legs? Would it make his legs bigger, I think you're trying to say? Yeah, but they'd lose their separation and everything. Would it help? Torres, calm down. What difference does it make to pin on the glutes for shoulders or any other spots in the body? Well, typically the glutes, the part that's not if you're wearing little trunks, but usually it's not exposed. The trunks are covering it. So if you end up getting like lumps and scar tissue, typically your trunks will cover it. But the problem is if you're using a good amount of steroids and you have to inject, 12, 20, 30 cc's of oil every week, you're not going to put it all on your glutes. Your glutes would end up having these huge lumps that would stick out to the side. So they rotate typically glute, delt. Some guys pin their lats. You can pin anywhere. Thighs typically not a good idea because there's too many nerve endings in there. I'm just curious if there's any shots. If Gilco's uploaded anything better. He's who he's who I always turn to for the best stage shots. Mitch Gilbert. He's done some outstanding work. There's a good shot of Tonio. Look at that. Looking like a cartoon character. Blessing should go with the Camel Crew. No. What's the Camel Crew going to do for him? What are they going to do for him? Do you know what Rolly did to shrink his waist? Don't know what he did. I don't know if he ever actually came out and said. He was a man of few words, Rolly. Still is. Doesn't like to talk a lot. So I don't know what he did. But if it was compounds he was using, perhaps insulin and GH, maybe he cut way back on those. I don't think it was like a waist trainer. Like plus you men's physique. Oof. His legs aren't that bad, guys. Come on. Was it a waist trainer? Yeah. I've seen what waist trainers do for people. All they really do is make you conscious of keeping your gut sucked in. You can't shrink your waist, guys. What are you going to make your internal organs smaller? What would you be shrinking? Think about it. Your abdominal muscles, we're going to make them more shallow. What are you shrinking with a waist trainer? It doesn't even make sense. Think about it, though. Tell me how a waist trainer can actually make your waist smaller. By keeping your waist bound up tight, for hours and hours every day, once you take the trainer off, it's just going to go back to where it was. You don't think it's going to bounce back? That's like, squeeze the skin somewhere. It's going to come right back when you take your fingers away. Gilco should be awarded with an honorary Academy Award. I don't know about that. We're asking toward compounds, docs, waist trainers. Yeah, I don't buy the waist trainer. I don't buy waist trainers as being an effective tool at all, personally. I know these people like to swear by them, but usually when they do, they're selling them. So it's kind of hard to say. Sauce in the qualifying Olympia, what do you do? He didn't beat Regan last week. I know Regan's tan sucked. Sasa had a way better tan. Sasa was in better condition. Regan had him on the back shots. He had him on structure. He had him on overall upper body size. I don't have a problem. I'm not like a Regan. I'm not a fanboy of Regan or a fanboy of Sasan. I just call it like I see it. And it was a clear win to me. Sasan looked good, but structurally he's got some issues. Regan was blessed. He was just given. It's not like Regan worked harder. I seriously doubt Regan worked harder than Sasan did for that show. But in the end, structure, which is a God-given thing or just genetically given thing from your parents, goes along with. Filipino boxer Manny Pacquiao had huge calves for 130-pounder. I've noted before that there's a good amount of Korean pros now. I'm sure you're aware of that. 212 division. There's a good amount in classic. It's not so many in open. There's a few, but they all have tremendous calves, huge quads and huge calves. I've yet to see a Korean bodybuilder or classic physique competitor with bad lower body. They always have the quads and the calves. Do you really think Martin should have beat Andrew Jacked at the Olympia last year? It was close, but yeah. I was watching Tony interview. He said he likes to have fun. When you asked him, he's going to stop around. Look like that. Yeah, I don't know if I don't think he will do Toronto. No, I think they'll just shut it down. He just needed his qualification, and he saw there was going to be a pro show in Reno in May, at the end of May. I'm sure when he saw the schedule, he goes, oh, there you go. I mean, if you have a pro show in your own hometown, why wouldn't you just do that? It's just so simple. Did the New York pro stay relevant like Kai does? Well, I don't know about that. Cena had huge calves. He started the bodybuilding and the project from your home state. I think Cena, yeah, he is from Massachusetts. You're right. Yeah. I competed with his brother Matt at the Team Universe in 2009. We were both light heavies. Matt Cena. I heard he passed away. I don't know if that's true, but I had heard that. Not John Cena, his brother Matt. Antoine has great calves. Yeah. Well, there's some people out there with great calves. I didn't say there weren't. There wasn't. Sasan had better shape, symmetry, and overall pops better Olympic qualification. No, he doesn't have better shape and symmetry. Regan's got very pretty shape. Sasan's frontal bicep is really wonky looking. Don't get me wrong. He's got a tremendous physique. I'm not putting him down, but I totally saw why the judges gave it to Regan. I'll talk about those Pittsburgh pros. Saw Samson Derek personally, so hard to believe I so they don't compare with Samson. Yeah, Samson he's 6 foot and he's 340 in the off season, 305 on stage. Great shape, structure, symmetry. Very hard to beat. I hope he shows up at this Olympia just shredded beyond belief. I would love to see that. Waist trainers are pointless. I mean, that's my feeling. I never tried one. I did know a guy, a men's physique competitor, local guy, a friend of mine who tried it. Didn't see any difference because he had wide hip bones. He had a wide waist, just the structure. The waist trainer is not going to change his bones. There's nothing you can do about that. What do I think about him? I think he's got a lot of potential. I want to see how he looks in Dubai. Right now, he looks like he's way behind. As Olympic qualifier show in the New England area. Well, we had Fresh Prince. We had the Boston Pro once, 2022. William Bonac won the bodybuilding. Urs Kalachinsky, the Miracle Bear, won the Classic Physique. I think Maureen Blanquisco, who won the Olympia later that year, I think she won bikini. I can't remember any of the other winners. Lola Montez won figure. It was a really good show, but the promoter, kind of sketchy things we heard. People didn't get paid after the show, or it took them a while to get paid. It was a great production. It really was. I was very impressed with the job. The gentleman's name was David. He put on a great show, but for whatever reason, just couldn't do it again. It's unfortunate because it was great to have a pro show right there in my back, literally right in my home. Not my backyard, but a 30-minute drive away. Zeke. Yeah, I don't want to talk about that. Good interaction. Thank you. All right, guys. So I'm going to make sure there are no new photos up. No new photos. Who would have new photos anyway? It's hard to say. Maybe who was the best bodybuilder? Body was up order. Beyond stage TV. No. It's just a victory shot there. All right, guys. Yeah, no new footage are up. There's nothing new out. All right, cool, guys. All right, so it's late. It's past 11:30 at night for me. I'm old and I need my beauty sleep. I need all the beauty sleep I can get. So appreciate all you guys. What's this? Bodybuilding Without Borders. So I guess I'll check one more time. I would hate to miss Bodybuilding Without Borders. What do they have that we haven't seen yet? Oh, these are Gilco pictures. Anyway, yeah. We've already seen these pictures, but yeah. They're just sharing the Gilco stuff. All right, so that's it. It's just really hover about 3 hours. Does I don't know what he really weighs. He's a big dude. He's a big dude, so probably. All right, so guys, that's it. There's your top 5 one last time. And Tonio, your champion. Patrick Moore, great comeback. Really redeemed himself, looking fantastic in second. Bruno Santos from Brazil in third. Florian Poirson in fourth. And fifth, the rookie, Kennedy Anyanwu, continuing to impress us in his rookie season. So that is it, guys. I will check you all out later. Let's stop that. Appreciate you all watching, and I'll see you right here next time. Peace, guys.